As you probably know, many families are on spring break, and if you're not, you probably soon will be.
And then before long, we've got summer vacation. We've got Easter between then. It'll all be here, and kids will be out of school for weeks, not just days.
So, question for you, what are step-parents' rights in regards to vacation these days? It's a question many families face. Family law attorney Justin Thomas is here to explain. Justin, welcome back to Live at 9.
Thanks for having me.
So what are a step-parent's rights these days? Because we know the family has become even more blended, so it seems, over the past decade or two.
Well, you are correct in that families are becoming more and more blended across all spectrums. The short answer is step-parents don't have a lot of rights. The rights to the children are between the two natural parents, the mother and the father. But step-parents are obviously very involved in what's going on with children, with the blended families. And then you run into a lot of issues like you talked about with traveling, spring break, even transporting children back and forth from school, soccer practice, all that type of stuff.
Really? So if I'm a step-parent and I'm in charge of the carpool, is that a problem? Are there some legal concerns that I need to be aware of? Because I'm not a real parent. You know what I mean.
Right. Well, that's
legally.
Not necessarily that would be a problem, but a step-parent doesn't have greater rights than a biological parent.
Okay.
But those scenarios are why step-parents are so involved, because typically somebody is going to go out, get remarried in some period of time. They're going to have a blended family, and then you're going to have stepmom or stepdad heavily involved in the other child's life. And what the courts and what everybody hopes for is that will be a smooth relationship.
So, Justin, with all of this in mind, does this break down differently from state to state, or what should a step-parent have to do to kind of find out what those rights are?
Well, it's going to be pretty universally the same across the board, where two parents, the two natural parents, are always going to have more rights to the children, but the step-parents are always going to be involved in the other children's lives. And a lot of times you see post-divorce custody issues or modifications because maybe one child cannot get along with the step-parent, or they have allegations against the step-parent abusing them, or whatever the scenario may be. But also a lot of times children have great relationships with the step-parent, and what the courts hope for is that the parents and the step-parents will all be able to get along and present a unified front to the child or the children, because what smart children especially pick up on is the ability to manipulate one parent against the other if you don't present a unified front. Right.
Okay, so it sounds to me like pre-planning is important. So let's do a scenario. We get divorced. We're not remarried. We're just getting divorced. Do a parenting plan, which lays out what?
Correct. A parenting plan, when one person gets divorced, essentially lays out the schedule, the default schedule for what everyone's parenting time is going to be, what the child support will be, what the decision making is going to be. In other words,
for like the whole year, right?
Correct.
Okay,
well,
so now you get married, remarried. What do you do?
Are most people, though, that organized, though, to do something like that, or you would hope they would be?
Well, you know, the courts are going to require you to get a parenting plan, but what the courts and everyone hopes for is that the parenting plan would just be a default plan. What I tell my clients is, we hope that you'll get to the point post-divorce setting where somebody can call their child or call the other parent and say, hey, I want to take them to the Grizzlies game tonight, and even though it's not my night, we'll still let that happen because we're fostering that relationship.
Once, though, the divorced couple, somebody is ready to get remarried, do you need to go back and revise the parenting plan very intentionally? Does that help prevent problems down the road?
I don't think you need to revise the parenting plan unless, for example, you were moving out of state or something like that. But what probably would be a good idea, practically speaking, is sit down, try to have a conversation, understand that this parent is going to be involved in the child's life. They're not going to take the place of mom or dad, but they are going to be an authority figure in that child's life, and the child needs to understand that.
All right, Justin, thank you very much.
Thanks.
For the
Complicated.
tips. All right, up next on Live at 9.